Hello everyone. Now we'll be doing the poem If Thou Must Love Me by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. So each one of us has loved somebody. Each one of us has fallen in some relationship. We might have a little crush, little infatuation, or maybe a little more. In each one of these, we expect the other person to love us for something we have. Maybe for our talents, maybe for our skill, or maybe just because we look pretty, or for some reason or the other. But here in this poem, the writer Elizabeth Barrett Browning, who wrote these sonnets, which are 14-line poems, wrote these sonnets for her future husband, that was Robert Browning. We all know him as a very famous poet. So she deeply confesses of her love in these sonnets. This is one sonnet from a collection of 44 sonnets from her collection, Sonnets from the Portuguese. So in this sonnet, she in fact says that do not love me for how I look or my way of speaking or how I act. Rather just love me for the sake of love. Love me unconditionally. So let us first read the poem once. If thou must love me, let it be for naught, except for love's sake only. Do not say, I love her for her smile, her look, her way of speaking gently, for a trick of thought that falls in well with mine, and cert is bought, a sense of pleasant ease on such a day, for these things in themselves, beloved may be changed or changed for thee, and love so wrought may be unwrought so, neither love me for thine own dear pities wiping my cheek dry. A creature might forget to weep who bore thy comfort long and lose thy love thereby. But love me for love's sake, that evermore thou mayest love on through love's eternity. So this was the poem. Now let's try to understand the poem line by line. In the first line, we have the word not. So not means basically for eternity, non-existent, something that does not exist. So, if thou must love me, let it be for naught, except for love's sake only. So, she says that do not love me just because you want to love me. Love me relentlessly, unconditionally. Love me not because of the reasons that I specify over here. So, she says, do not say, I love her for her smile, her look, her way of speaking gently, for a trick of thought that falls in well with mine, and cert is bought, a sense of pleasant ease in such a day. She says that, okay, you might like my smile right now. You might think that we think similarly. You might like the way I look. You might even think that, okay, the way she acts with me, that the way we both blend in together, it completes her day, it makes it pleasant. But do not love me for that. Because with time, it can change. And I want a love that lasts over time, that goes beyond death, that does not change. For these things in themselves, beloved, may be changed or changed for thee, and love so wrought may be unwrought so, neither love for me, thine own dear's pity wiping my cheek dry. Now she says that these things, as we have discussed here, they may be changed. For him, for the person you love, you change a bit of yourself. So either they can be changed for you or they can change by themselves over time. So do not love me for these. Then she says that these are things, love should be, woven like a pashmina say. It should be woven so elaborately, so delicately. And such a delicate love can become untangled if these things are changed and you love me for these things. So next she says that don't even love me because I cry and I need your shoulder to cry on and you have to wipe my cheeks dry. Do not love me even for that. A creature might forget to weep who bore thy comfort long and lose thy love thereby. Then she says that right now I cry, I might have some suffering, or you might pity me, or you might want to wipe off my tears. But staying with you over time, I would be happy. Someday I would stop weeping, I would stop crying. And then you won't have to wipe off my tears because I'll be happy being with you. And so that day, because you won't be able to comfort me any longer, that day I might lose your love. So don't love me for that either. So we have seen in these first 12 lines, her tone is a little cautionary, right? She is cautioning her lover that do not love me for these things. I want an unconditional love. In the last 2 lines we see, but love me for love's sake that evermore thou mayest love on through love's eternity. In the last 2 lines we see the tone changes. It becomes jovial and romantic. She says that love me for love's sake. Just love me unconditionally, not because of any of these reasons. And let it last beyond time, beyond death. Let it be a bond that stays with us forever.